go, Breezy.
Yeah.
Looks like they back for a fifth season, man.
Who that?
Sports Roundtable.
Who?
SRT Crew.
Whoa.
SRT. They got that realness flowing in they DNA. Damn you lame if you ain't tuned to SRT today. HO got that payload when he say so. What you betting on? Don't get mad at me on fantasy. Break up Kyrie LeBron. I be smooth as sports superhero Hancock in the mix. Deal will roll tide forever. Real talk, you know who he gon' pick. See where I be with SRT. Behind the glass, that G Money. They with a strong, I never lose. 6-man elite, that's J Smooth.
All you other sports radio shows is fake news. Believe it. Turn up your radios, cause it's time for SRT Radio. Yeah.
What up? It's Sports Roundtable, and we are live from our virtual studios. I am your humble host, H.O. from Bankhead, and I got two of my good guys here with me tonight. Got Mr. Asa Brown from DNA Sports.
What's going on? How's everybody doing?
7 to 9. What's going on, bro?
I'm good.
Yes, I thought we was going on Twitter tonight, but they said I gotta have a premium account to go live on Twitter. So, oh well. And down at the bottom, we got my main man, the man who's always looking for Hancock to let him know what he feels about everything. The coach. What's going on, coach?
What's happening?
All is well, man. Just trying to make it through this rain. I hope everybody roboing home. But listen, be careful out there. The weather is bad. It's going to get bad. Look, they already done canceled school for the next 2 days. And this is the problem I have with that. All these out-of-towners who moved to Atlanta got a problem with how can you cancel school 2 days before or 2 days ahead of what you know is going to go on? Because they got to keep their own kids. They got a problem with school being canceled. I don't get it. I don't get it.
So I don't have a problem with canceling school for like these kind of schools, because you don't know about trees falling and all that kind of stuff and inclement weather. I think I understand more of the issue when it's like when it's like winter related, because we haven't done anything to equip the roads for dealing with that type of weather. But knowing you got a hurricane like force coming in and possible power outages and all that kind of stuff, there's no need for anybody really to be out on the road unless it's local emergencies or whatever.
They don't think about us poor teachers who got to get out also and be at school and drive and then why go in and then at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, you're going to send everybody home anyway. So, that's just some people that don't like their kids. That's all. That's all that is.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm like, man, look, you getting a day off, so what are you complaining about? I mean, make them clean up and do something.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is. But, man, we got a good show for you tonight. We're going to take you around the world in sports. We got the hot news. Waiting on D. Will to step in so we can talk about that Alabama-Georgia game that's coming up here next weekend. We got NFL, college football, the next franchise quarterback in college that's playing right now. So we got to talk about that. Also, Kansas City refs did it again. Definitely go talk about that. And I named the show are the Cheifs, the new Patriots of this era. And I can explain that. Once we get to it, I can explain it. And Coach, we talked about this Saturday. Embiid gets the bag. We got to get Ace's thoughts on Embiid getting the bag there. Also, the throw that Mr. JD Jaden Daniels made on Monday night. You know, we're gonna talk about the throw. We're gonna talk about his first touchdown, NFL touchdown pass, and all that. So we got a whole lot to cover. Also, ballers and busters. We already know it's gonna be. We're gonna have a whole lot of fun with the ballers and busters. We'll review week 3 and preview week 4 in the NFL. Who impressed? Who didn't impress? Do you believe in the Braves? We got 5 games left, and of course, they're not gonna play tonight due to the weather. But what do we need to do to get into the playoffs? Who needs to show up and show out? Austin Riley has been said that he will be out for the rest of the season, so won't be no Austin Riley playing. So you're going into if you make the playoffs, you're going into the playoff with a makeshift third baseman. That's gonna be interesting. And you definitely got to talk about the Falcons and what do they need to do. It's hate week, coach. So it is what it is.
Yeah, boy, the Georgia folk got all kind of hate this week. Georgia,
Yeah.
Alabama, Falcons, Saints. Probably
Braves.
Yeah, Braves, Mets. Good grief, woo! All kind of hate coming right out of this week.
I brought my red cup out for the night for y'all. You know what I mean? So
there you go. All right, fellas. With that being said, shout out to my main man, Dez. Always be the first one in the group. The hollers on the chat line. What's up, Dez? And you already know what it is. It is time for some hot news. And the hot news sponsored by our good old friends, Big Easy Grill. Big Easy Grill, 1193 Collier Road, Atlanta, Georgia, where you can get the best Louisiana seafood in town. Big Easy Grill, 1193 Collier Road. Takes 2 bites to get rid of 1 shrimp. The shrimp po' boy is awesome. Crab claws, you can't miss that. And also they got the seafood pasta. Enough said. Go over to Big Easy Grill. Make sure you mention SRT or Sports Roundtable. Get you 10% off any meals, $25 or more. All right, fellas. It is that time, the hot news. And Ace, we got to get Coach over there to the Big Easy Grill. Every time I talk about the Big Easy Grill, it's like he's licking his chops, ready to go.
Yeah.
All right. College football quarterbacks. There's been a lot said, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna get to the UNLV quarterback and all that down in the roundtable discussion. But right now, you got some quarterbacks that are making some hay. I looked up the other day, and Archie Manning is ranked number 4 as far as the Heisman ranking right now as of today, and he's a backup. Yeah, they got him as high as number 4 in the Heisman ranking right now as a backup. That's what that last name will do for you. But anyway, Cam Ward, Shadur Sanders wasn't even on the list, but that's their list. We talking about this list. We know we saw what he can do. We saw it on display this Saturday. The miracle rollout, rolling left, Hail Mary touchdown. Here we go. Shadur Sanders probably gonna get a whole lot of ballers this week.
Yeah. I don't even think that throw was really a Hail Mary. The way he threw it, if you watch it from the end zone, I think he threw it to a spot.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go.
So, I know. I mean, I get the Hail Mary, like you wish it for a prayer, but when you go back and watch that play and watch it from the end zone view, it's a play that they practice. He threw it to a spot.
Yeah, it's probably Hail Mary because of the time. When no more time left on the clock. Last play of the game, so it's either you catch it or you don't. Ball game.
But like I said, it was a 1-man route though. Usually a Hail Mary is in a bunch, and you hoping for a tip or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, that is a good point. Cam Ward, Quint Ewers, who's the starting quarterback for Texas, and Asa, you say you wanted to put who you say you wanted to put in there as well?
Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll go ahead and start with you, Asa. And out of the quarterbacks in college right now, who do you see as the next guy being a franchise guy in the NFL?
Man, so I'm gonna go with like I'm gonna say a few names and I'm gonna tell you why I don't think maybe Shador might be the one out of all of them, but you got Cam Ward, you got Jalen Milroe, which if I was ranking, he would be last on my list. I think he need to worry about getting his hands together than going as a quarterback at the next level.
Okay.
Jackson Dart, and then there's Shador, and then the guy in Tennessee, Nico,
Yeah.
is interesting. Lama Labor. Hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly.
We just go call him Nico. We'll go.
Nico.
Go.
Uh, but they all have their. I've watched Nico's. I watched 2 games with him, in North Carolina State, and then this past weekend um, in Oklahoma. And there's some things about him. He reminds me more of a Randall Cunningham. Um, he can he can sling it. I just wonder where what all these guys is wonder where they wind up at. Obviously, uh, but I think right now the one Shador is the one that's polished out of all of them for what they
Like,
asked him to do.
yeah.
The spotlight, the pressure they put on themselves. I mean, that Colorado, I say, puts on themselves. Um, he's the one that's probably most ready day one for what the NFL life is about. Obviously, because of his dad. But those are my 4 or 5 guys who I'm looking at to make some noise at the next level whenever they get there.
All right, Coach, what you got?
Yeah, you got all those that Asa mentioned were correct. There's no dark horses. I just have a hard time believing a couple games. Are you kidding me? I mean, he's good. I ain't taking nothing, no shine away. But we're looking at total body work. We ain't looking at you go out there in one game, you light it up, and everybody like, ooh. If that's the case, you can find anybody that has a big game. Like this guy,
San Antonio, Texas, against a team like that,
Yeah, this guy Eli Holston from Pittsburgh Panthers. He had a 73-17 win, 349 yards, 4 touchdowns. So you gonna put him on there too? Against Youngstown State? Come on, man. No. You gotta all of them are gonna meet their Waterloo soon, just like it's gonna be some separation between Carson Beck and Jalen Milroe this weekend when they lock horns with each other. There's one of them gonna drop and the other one gonna elevate depending on how they do. Cam Ward is I think getting ready to play Louisville, so that might be ready to be his game. And Dart for Ole Miss. If y'all knew the history with me and Ole Miss, I can't stand them. I was born in Mississippi, and I had some dealing with Ole Miss. I can't stand nothing about Ole Miss. So I give Jackson Dart his due, but I wouldn't push him. But
Well, I mean, I say this, Coach and HO. I mean, with Nico and with Dart, you got 2 guys that are under offensive coordinators and quarterback type coaches.
Yeah.
And then we all know about Manny and his pedigree as far as uncles, dad, uncles and grandfather. So, I understand maybe I don't know about the Heisman push yet, obviously, but I understand his name being elevated for who he is. But you look at Heupel in Tennessee, a quarterback coach.
Yeah.
You got Lane Kiffin in Ole Miss, a more of a quarterback's coach. Offensive minded. these kids, these guys should be able to come into the league and maybe catch up. Depending on where they wind up when they get to the league, to be able to hit the ground running. You know, people like Cam Ward, I think it will be very important where he goes because if not, he'll wind up like my man that was in Tennessee Titans, who's playing for Green Bay now.
Malik Willis.
Malik
Yeah.
Willis, he seems to have, some of those same kind of attributes. That's all, So it's important way. So the Dart could wind up like the BYU kid.
Yeah.
Who winded up with the Jets. So they all got some some of those attributes that we've seen from previous kids, but I think the way the NFL is set up now is really 7-on-7. The field is wide open. You get to the right situation, you should be okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, he just pulled in with the hoodie on.
He copying me. I don't even know. He copying me. He didn't know I was ready. He didn't know I was ready for him. I was ready for him.
Yeah. My
I'll
man.
be honest. You might want to hide your face right now. Hey, wait them over Tigers looking. You hide your face right now.
I already got a check for him. I got a check ready to go. We gonna be paying for another coach, but it's about time for him to go too.
Wow.
And it won't freeze. No pun intended.
All right, D-Will, we talking about the next franchise NFL quarterback that's currently playing in college right now. Asa gave his thoughts and Colston gave his thoughts. Wanted to get your thoughts right now. Who do you see as the next franchise quarterback in the NFL that's currently playing in college?
Cliche. His last name is Manning, right?
Yeah.
Let's just keep it real. I know the 2 games that we've seen him play have been against complete and total cupcakes, right? It hadn't even been real competition. So to actually gauge how good he really is, it's hard to say against good competition. But here's what I want to say about him. And the reason I say that, the reason I say Arch, and I want people to follow me, it's because you know how you can watch somebody and you can say they might not be playing good competition, but you see that pop. Like you can see it come across the screen. You see it pop off the screen like, oh, that kid can play, right? Like you can just watch Arch, his movements, his ability, his IQ, and he got a little athleticism, right? So he just looks like he's primed and ready to be like. Now I will say this. Physically, he doesn't look like he's ready, right? He still looks like he in his little boy body. He don't look like he's stepped up into his early grown man body. But once that does happen for him, he looks like he's primed and ready to be a franchise quarterback in the future.
Now, I looked at the board today, and Arch Manning as a backup is actually in the Heisman race as we speak today. Are you surprised?
I think that's a stretch. And I'm going to tell you, he's going to win a Heisman before he leaves. Peyton Manning not winning the Heisman, they will avenge that with Arch. You better believe it.
Okay. I can see that. Let's talk about Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward, and Jason Dart. Out of those 3, who would you rank second behind Arch Manning if you had to?
Well, I would take Shedeur over all of those. I would take him over Arch, right? Shedeur has shown the ability to really be able to play, and he has that it factor, right? He makes plays at the end of games. He is not afraid of the big moment. He's not afraid of the big throw. True enough, he still has some flaws, and I hear everybody say it all the time, but he does hold on to that ball for a long time. However, when he does that, he makes good plays. So I would take Shedeur over all of them. Jackson Dart he's one of those quarterbacks, bro. I don't know how good he's gonna be in the NFL, right? Just his style of play. He got Lane Kiffin calling his plays. I don't know how good he's gonna be, man. Like I don't see him and his game translating to the next level. That's just my opinion. So if that's the question, I'm taking Shador out of that whole group.
Okay. And he should.
D-Will was listening. D-Will was listening before he came on. Ho.
Oh, okay, that's what it was.
Hey, listen, great minds think alike. Give me that much.
Shador should get at least a ball of the week this week, right?
All day.
I think he should be consensus.
Okay, there you go. Shador or Travis all day. Okay. Speaking of Travis, let's go ahead and go down this rabbit hole. Is Travis Hunter something that we've never seen before? And I'm not talking about positions. I'm talking about the amount of plays that he plays with and the type of plays he can make on both ends of the field.
I think he's the first one that they've allowed to do that. I think there's been some people in the past who probably could have played both sides. And, you've seen a little bit of it. Desmond Howard did a little bit of receiving, now I can't call his name from Georgia.
Hines Ward?
No, not I was thinking about how I was thinking about on the defensive side.
Champ Bailey, one of
Champ
the
Bailey, they were guys back in the day, that played at least two out of the three, special teams and then defense with the corners. But I think some of those guys could have played wide receiver. They could have played both sides if, they were allowed to. I think Hunter is the first one that's being allowed to at this volume.
Hey, so I'm gonna show how old I am. I'm gonna take you way back in the Wayback Machine and give you a name. Jim Thorpe. Jim Thorpe played everything and then was a decathlete. On top of all that, he played running back, DB, and everything. And he was that prototype. He was one of the few, like I say, it ain't been many, but he was one that played both sides pretty much. So, yeah, he was one of those. But Travis Hunter, right now, I don't care what anybody says. If he's not in New York for the Heisman Trophy celebration, it needs to be banned for the rest of life. There's no way you can have a Heisman Trophy celebration without him.
They got to get to 8 wins, man. They got to get to 8 wins, and he had a Heisman moment in the Baylor game, obviously causing a fumble at the goal line. But that's not the splash play that they're looking for. He needs a punt return or a pick six. He needs one of those moments as well, because it's a business. They got to be able to flash those things constantly across some commercials. I can't flash a hit at the goal line. It don't hit the same as a punt return when it comes to commercial wise and the way to advertise it. But I'm with you at this point. He should be amongst, i.e., what Ndamukong Suh should have won the Heisman at Nebraska. But as an interior lineman, there's nothing sexy about what he was doing. You gotta punch the numbers to see how dominant he was, and Ndamukong Suh is. You got to do the same with Hunter. You got to, there's numbers that got to be added to it, and the general public just don't buy. We don't buy into it as much as we should.
All right, I'm gonna read Dad's comment. I'm gonna let y'all read, and I think he makes a great point here. If Hunter wasn't playing for Deion, he probably wouldn't be playing both sides, not full time anyway.
Nope.
I agree.
True.
He's exactly right. I mean, Deion played both sides. He played, like I said, 2 out of the 3 positions, special teams, corner, and they had him at wide receiver maybe once or twice at Florida State. But you got to be with a coach who understands that and sees it.
So Deion is living his college days through Travis Hunter.
Again.
Well, I'm gonna say
Deion live in Florida State through Colorado again.
Facts. But yeah, I'm gonna answer it, Big Ho. Yes, Travis Hunter is something we've never seen before, right?
Okay. Right.
We can pull a bunch of people out who were similar, but sheer volume, and it also goes to the part of the question that you said that we've seen before, right? In modern day, we hadn't seen anything like Travis Hunter, right? Back in the day when, it wasn't 85 players on a team or 115 players on the team, you might have saw guys playing both ways. Guys did that quite often. But in today's modern day of football, we've never seen somebody do it at the volume of a Travis Hunter, not even remotely. And Charles Woodson won a Heisman Trophy, right? Charles Woodson won a Heisman Trophy playing both sides of the football, and he didn't do it at this volume. So in today's modern football, we've never seen anything like him because he's one of those guys that has a motor that just doesn't stop. Like, he has a zeal to play football. It doesn't matter what he's doing on the field. He just wants to play. And you can tell he's that type of guy by the clip that happened several weeks ago when he made the incredible catch at the goal line to win the game, when he missed the pass before and Shador cussed him out in the huddle and he came right back and made a play. That's just a guy who doesn't wear his feelings or his emotions on his sleeve. He just goes out and plays football and loves doing it. And when he goes and plays like that, he's the best on the field. So, no, we've never seen anything like him to this volume of somebody who does it on both sides to win football games like he did this past Saturday and a couple of weeks ago with the catch on the offensive end.
All right, cool. All right, well, we're gonna wrap that up with that. I think D. Will, you explained that perfectly. I don't think we've seen it before. We didn't see who Jackie Robinson. We didn't see them play and do all the other kind of stuff, and Jim Thorpe. Didn't see any of those players. But Marlon Day,
I didn't think coach was that old, Jackie.
How old do you think I am, Mason?
I ain't saying. I'm thinking you young. I ain't saying.
Coach, don't worry about it. You look 30. Don't even worry about it.
That is.
They must have a filter on this thing.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna bring this up right now. We're gonna talk about this. We'll talk about. So I'm gonna switch. We got to talk about this quarterback out of UNLV who just quit, resigned, redshirted himself from the team, as the team is 3-0. A transfer guy from Holy Cross. D. Will, this is when NIL gets real. So basically, if you've been living up on the rock, Matt Sluka transferred from Holy Cross, and per his statement and per his agent statement, he verbally agreed to at least $100,000, and he had not been paid yet. They're 3-0, and they are looking pretty good, actually. And at this point, he just said, "Look, I just go ahead and quit the team in red shirt and go to the transfer portal. So next year, and if Hancock was on, I would tell Hancock maybe Florida State should have chose him instead of DJ. But hey, that's neither here nor there. But we got to talk about this and the NIL. Is this the first? Is this the first? Will this be the last time we see this? And I'm gonna let my expert D. Will talk about this first.
Bro, like, this is a holdout. Point blank, period. That's all this is. And here's the issue with this entire thing. I'm not mad at Sluka. Listen, I commend him for stepping out to do this. And here's the issue with the NCAA. They still haven't allowed the rules to where schools can pay players, right? The school promised him this. The school knew they wasn't going to be on the hook for that money because they're not obligated to be. It's actually against the rules for them to be. So if they don't pay him, they just don't pay him. NIL is supposed to be name, image, and likeness, something outside of the university's control. Now, they have collectives that are supposed to give to NIL money, whatever it is. Basically, that's their salary cap. So that's what really needs to happen. So I don't blame Sluka for leaving. Now, is this the last time we're going to see this? I'm going to tell you, yes, it is. The reason this is the last time we're going to see this, because we're about to see a change. That $20 million salary cap that's about to come out for college athletics is about to hit next year, right? So we won't have these type of situations. Schools will be able to directly pay players, and you won't have this because you know what you'll have? You'll have a contract. You'll have a contract that will be binding for a player. So if he wants to hold out, he's going to have to do what? Give back money. No player's going to want to do that. No university is going to want to deal with that. So you won't have this situation again. But with the lack of oversight on NIL and these schools being able to pay players is the reason we have this situation.
And they're already talking about schools talking about adding a talent fee to your game ticket, things of that nature.
Yep.
So schools are already ready to start passing that buck down to the consumers already.
Yep.
So, you're gonna start getting your tickets and seeing an extra $20 on there or whatever it may be, and that's supposed to go to this contract that you had with these players coming into the program. I feel like it's just going to make, as long as you are transparent, above board. Excuse me, but you'll see how that plays out. But to D Will's point, there's no, right now is the Wild West. There's no rules. You gave me a handshake to be here. I got you to 3-0, and you ain't come up with the check. I'll hit the portal. I see y'all later. As Jay-Z said, you want a hole, make another one.
Hey, but here's the thing about it. A lot of these collective deals, and I'm speaking from experience because my nephew has a NIL deal right now with UNC Dub. He plays at UNC Wilmington, plays basketball. He has a NIL deal with them right now, right? There is a contract in place. However, that contract is not through the university. From what I'm hearing from Sluka, he was told by UNLV that they were going to give him $100 grand, not through their NIL collective, not through some other outside entity. He says it was from them. They're not going to be on the hook for that, right? They don't have to be. Not saying, of course, they have the money, but that's not what they want to do. And because they know that's against the rules for now. So I think this story has a lot of information that we aren't privy to right now that we're going to get as time goes on. But in an NIL deal for a Division I program, basketball or football, it goes into a contract for an NIL collective, somebody else who's handling that paperwork. If he was thinking that he was getting that money from the school, shame on Sluka for making that mistake for going there. But I don't blame him for saying, oh, y'all ain't gave me my money, I'm sitting out. Because I'm full disclosure, it is a time period that they have for Greedy to get his first check to his last check for the amount of money that he agreed to his NIL deal. That shit better hit. Y'all feel me? Like we ain't playing them games, right? It has to. So that's the way it happens, and that's the way it's laid out right now. I think Sluka made a mistake. His circle made a mistake, and of course UNLV just did some dirty business.
And of course, the NCAA is going to turn it to where he's going to look like I've seen, articles already, quitter and all that kind of stuff. So they're going to turn that PR against him, and he's not going to win that war either for the most part. So.
Yeah, that's bad. And now I'm hearing that he had bigger offers elsewhere, but he chose UNLV because of the assistant coach. But the assistant coach, the one who made the verbal, and it didn't happen for him. I see coach done move. He had to move. Coach had to move to another spot. Or you good?
Yeah, I had to move some stuff. Something was falling down, and I got ghosts in here.
Yeah. Ace say now you showing your age. So yeah, we was talking about now. Somebody brought up the point. Now, why is it 100,000 that he was getting and not more than that? Well, he went to Holy Cross,
right?
Holy Cross. He transferred from Holy Cross, Ivy League school. So, I mean, he probably could have got more, but he went out to a place in Las Vegas where he figured all the hotels is being built and all the gambling and all this money that's circulating in Las Vegas. They surely can't stiff me for no money. And they did.
See, but that's the thing. He should have been on his own NIL track going to Las Vegas, right? The 100,000 was supposed to come from the school. That's what people keep missing in this whole ordeal. This wasn't his. He should have got out there and said, "Hey, listen, I need 100,000, and then I need some secure NIL deals." They'll go out to those newly built hotels or the Sphere or something and say, "Hey, here's our quarterback. We want to promote him. Can you do an NIL deal with him?" Cool. That's additional money. So he pissed about his 100 grand. Like, y'all was supposed to give me that. That might have been his signing bonus that he hadn't seen yet, right? And it's still more money for him to make.
So they misconstruing this. The 100,000 was for recruiting, for going there.
Period. And that's what I want people to know. It wasn't about this is just for you to sign to come to UNLV. We got you 100K. Everything else we gonna go get otherwise. Hey, Greedy, you gonna come down to Wilmington? We got a good deal with this restaurant. We got a good deal with this business. We can get you stuff. All right, cool. But this is our NIL deal. This is for us to sign our NLI, our national letter of intent. And he ain't get that. So he pissed. And I don't blame him for that.
Yeah. You can't tell somebody something and then all of a sudden renege like, no, well, guess what? We might have. Now I know we might have. I wouldn't be at your school if it on me. We might have. I came in because you all told me, and I think I'm sure D Will, you know more than I, that they signed some kind of agreement, don't they? Some kind of papers or something.
Yeah, MOU.
So there it is. If he got it,
they can't sign contracts, so they sign MOUs, memorandums of understanding. Right. Those are the deals that they sign for NIL. Now, when you go sign with an actual NIL deal with a company, that's a contract. But when you're signing to come to a school through their collective, it's an MOU because they're not allowed to give contracts. So those things can get real sticky if you don't have the right representation looking at your paperwork.
I was about to say, this is where you're gonna see who has good family base and people behind them that can read the not the MOUs or the paperwork, and you're gonna learn what agents are out there and who has the best interest of these young men as they get into this and move forward. So there's gonna be some agents who are, if they're good at what they do, they're gonna see this not just at college, then they'll be able to be the representative for these kids at the next level.
Oh, Asa, you barking up a tree that's already burning down, my brother. Like, listen, it is guys that are in the NBA and the NFL right now at the beginning of the NIL deals in college that are still under contract with these NIL companies. They didn't sign for their time in college. These guys put in those stipulations in that contract that they would get a percentage if they would go to the next league. You got to understand, I'm a college kid. We can get paid now. This is new. I got an agent telling me this. He finna give me $500,000. And now he say, oh, I'm just going to take this amount. And then later on, we only going to get this amount. But in actuality, they own your publishing basically, right? Anything that has your name, image, and likeness on it, even when you go to the next level, they get paid off of. So you got to have somebody checking that paperwork because, like I say, it's already happened. It's some horror stories out there that you can go look up that's already happened in this NIL world. And it's only going to continue to happen until they go ahead and drop the curtain and let these universities pay these players.
So basically, if you don't do my NIL right, I'm going to get the FBI and the CIA, and we going to say BYE. See you later. That's what's going to happen if you don't do it right.
That's all it is, man.
Mm-hmm. Money, hey, Puff Daddy. More money, more problems.
There's a lot of money out there too, my boy. It's a lot of money out there.
That's strong right there, boy. I tell you. All right, man. Let's move on to our next topic. All right, Asa and Asa and D Will. MB just got the bag. Me and Coach talked about this on Saturday. And I said that if he's gonna use most of this money to get healthy, then I think it's worth it.
Yeah, what I say, if you gonna hire LeBron's trainer,
Mhm.
because
Yeah, well,
right now he got I mean, it's the last couple of years he has played 65 plus games. I want to say, but Doc wasted one of those seasons.
Right.
Um, uh, so he has been healthier of late, but I'm happy. If you're a Philadelphia fan, you happy if he get 50 games out of him.
He gonna get 65 because he got to get in order to get paid. You got to play 65, right? To make a All NBA first, second, or third team.
Yeah. They got
So
that, yeah.
that's why, right? Just
Yeah.
over the mark, so he could get this contract that he just got. So, like, listen, he didn't got his bag. We know Embiid's personality. Does Embiid lay down?
But this dude get hurt. This dude get hurt by just dunking.
True. He's so big, man.
I mean, the injury he had last year in the playoffs, throwing it off the backboard. I was just like, man, like as much hell as we give the other guy in LA,
Kawhi Leonard.
Anthony Davis.
no, Anthony Davis. As much as we give, well, I mean, hey, Kawhi Leonard too, but I mean, Kawhi has a championship that's kind of
He's
in
solidified.
Toronto that's solidified. Anthony Edwards is supposed to be the man in LA, even though LeBron's there and he can't stay healthy. Embiid is another one of them. Like, man, you blow on them and they gone for 2 weeks.
But I'm gonna tell you, Big Ho, Philadelphia made the best move possible. He had to get that money, right? Like we were just preferenced. He has been very good of late. Over the last several years, he's been reliable. He's been the best player on the floor. He's gotten an MVP. So he's done his part for the organization. So it's only right by the organization to give him his money. However, he got to win, bro. Like, that's a lot of cake to get and can continue to get a second round exit in the playoffs every year. Like, that's not second round exit money. Okay, so he has to at least get them to an Eastern Conference Finals and then get past. Like, I understand he would have got there and probably had a chance to win a championship that year that Kawhi hit in Toronto to bounce. I get that part. Like, he got shafted by a miracle by Kawhi. Okay, and that's what Asa just said. That's what solidified Kawhi's career. That also in turn has a scarlet letter on Embiid's career because he's yet to get over the hump after that. So I understand it, man. I'm glad he got money, but he gonna have to win, dog. It's time for him to step up and win something.
Yeah, like I said, I also gave the excuse for Doc Rivers, but they got a legit coach now. They got
Paul
Maxey.
George.
You got Paul George. You got Maxey, who's shown. So he got running mates. Eastern Conference Finals is not even. They got to get to the finals now. Whether
That's what I say, man.
That's different, but they got to get to the finals.
They got to.
Yeah.
They just need that one more piece, and I just feel like and if y'all laugh, I'm gone for the rest of the show. They just need that one piece, that Ben Simmons. I'll tell you right now, you just bring Ben Simmons in, and it's complete.
Talk about now?
Yeah.
Oh no, Ben Simmons don't want to play no basketball.
I know it. I just had to sneak Ben Simmons in because they always talk about it.
He would be the perfect player role-wise for that team if you look at the construction of the roster. But we just know Ben Simmons don't want to play no basketball.
Yeah. He like to practice.
All right, before we get to the throw, D Will, we had a question last week. Somebody sent me that said, please ask D Will this. They wanted to talk about Bryce Young and your thoughts on him being benched. I was like, man, listen, the man is smaller than what you think. The man is very, very frail. He hadn't grown or lifted up into his grown man body yet. But let's be real. The organization has failed him miserably.
I was gonna say that, Big Ho. I hate that you preference my question about Bryce Young talking about his size, right? I don't like that, Big Ho. That's not fair because his size has not been his issue in the NFL. That is just a cop-out excuse that people can use due to him being the number one pick. He hasn't had an issue with size or durability issues. He's played a lot of damn games. He just hasn't been very good at them. And if he hadn't been very good in those games, that has to be a factor because we watched him win the Heisman Trophy, be very good in his senior year, and then come into the league and make it look like he's a deer in headlights and don't know how to play. No, that's the organization's problem, bro. Like that is the Carolina Panthers. That is a prime example of how an NFL career can be derailed at the drop of a hat. It matters where you go and what is around you when you get there. That matters, bro. We're looking at your boy in Pittsburgh, Justin Fields, look resurrected after leaving his first spot. Like he wasn't good. That's what they were telling us. He wasn't good. But now all of a sudden we're seeing him be able to play. He left Chicago and now Bryce Young needs an opportunity where people care about him. Look at Tua Tagovailoa. Before McDaniels got there, your boy wanted to throw him to the wolves. So I'm saying it's all about situation. Bryce Young can play football. I don't think his size is an issue, but he has to get somewhere where they trust him and they're able to develop it.
To D. Will's point, so you see Sam Darnold, and there's somebody else this year that's like, where was this at? But they all went in Carolina.
Listen, your boy in Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Baker.
Yeah.
He came back to Buster status this past week.
So it's interesting. I wonder, I haven't looked at the numbers or whatnot, just off the top of my head. Speaking of Miami, I do think Carolina will be up for a trade. You do have Miami, who's probably not going to, they can't throw Tua to the wolves because it look bad PR. But I don't know if any QBs are coming out right now. I don't think they're going to tank the season, so they may not be at number one anyway. To get somebody. I wonder if they would make a trade with Carolina to get Bryce Young.
I say a 4th round pick, you'll get Bryce Young. Because he's damaged goods. You're not going to get anything higher than a 4th for him. And I think that's pretty how we come to NFL terms, especially if you're making a deal mid-season, which you don't see that very often in the NFL.
Well, Carolina has a PR problem as well, right? I mean, you're going to get rid of them. If you're going to get rid of him, you might as well get rid of him now. To your point, they're not going to get any more than that in the offseason. You might as well make it happen now.
Right.
And get them out the building.
Bryce Young is a completely different player. We're having a totally different conversation right now if Mike McDaniels is coach. If Mike McDaniels has Bryce Young, we're seeing a completely different football player, bro. Completely.
I can agree with that.
Well, Alabama, it ain't looking good. Well, how about? Well, we get there in a minute. I ain't gonna heat up Milrow until we get to Georgia.
I know it's coming.
Yeah, I don't want to be the snitch, but somebody said Milrow need to be working on his hands instead of trying to throw a football in the NFL.
Oh,
but anyway,
working on his hands, them routes, running them, not throwing them.
Get ready to run some gloves.
At the next
all right,
level.
my last thing for you, D. Will, does Tua need to continue to play or is a retirement sooner than we think? What will be your advice?
Tua is a football player. It don't happen like that. We regular folk Our minds say, hey, man, hang it up. You got your money. Go sit down. That ain't how those guys are wired. Tua just got paid. You know, it's stipulations in that contract about getting that money. Tua's gonna play for that money, y'all. I don't give a damn. Tua is going to get that check, and I would advise him to do so, right? Because he's a football player, and he's going to want to play football. And if he wants to, and he's cleared to, he's gonna play. And I would advise him, if I'm his financial advisor or parents or whoever, you gonna play.
Okay. What he got? He's married with 2 kids, and he can reach out to Steve Young and some more people that has dealt with concussion issues.
Alabama will hire him back.
He's a god in Tuscaloosa.
I hear you, D. Will. I think I'm gonna come from maybe an NFL perspective. The last thing the NFL want to see is him laid out on there and he don't get up. And so I feel like if behind the doors, they may come to Miami and be like, okay, the contract says this. Y'all, I'm just throwing out numbers. Y'all come up with 25% of that. We'll meet you with 25%. So he gets 50% of that contract. And then, we can spend it how we want to spend it, that he retires or whatever. I just don't see the powers that be let him play. And like I said before, that hit he took against Buffalo wasn't a hit in NFL standards. And he was looking like the Statue of Liberty. So imagine when he gets one. The last thing anybody wants to see is somebody not get up, and then knowing that he had this problem. You know what I mean? Before, it's one thing if he never had it and it happens, it's a freak accident. Those things happen, but to me, it's a liability for the NFL to have him play.
Hey, but if somebody willing to sign him, ain't much the NFL can do. Right? Like you say, it's going to have to be some backroom dealings to get him the money that he feels he needs to walk away. And it's kind of like the Robert Griffin III thing. Like, hey, if you don't write this book on concussions, we'll make sure you get these jobs, right? And then you see him pop up over ESPN everywhere, and then all of a sudden you see him fight, right? Because he wasn't never damn good at the job. So my thing is, they do backroom dealings. If they're willing to do that and Tua takes it, okay. But in my opinion, he ain't walking away. Football players, like they say, football players just don't walk away.
I agree. All right, my last thing. Coach, you wanted to say something?
Tua better get him one of those Kevlar helmets, one of those Guardian caps with Kevlar in it. He gonna have to.
They wearing them nowadays. He might as well.
Yeah, and go to baseball camp and slide.
He giving the hits and he knocking himself out. That's why I don't know how he plays anymore without having. I just literally don't know how he gets to. And if he can go another 10 games and not have an issue, is that 11th game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He went a whole season last year, so you went 17 games last year, and whatever the game plan worked, the learning how to fall worked. But in this game, it's third and 3, and you're down by 10, and you got to make a play, and he winds it up like the Statue of Liberty.
Yep.
So,
listen, it's all about the money, y'all. Like what people would do for that check. You feel me? Like I say, for us, it's easy to say, man, just walk away. But for it'll take a whole lot for me to walk away from the microphone. But if somebody say I'm gonna give you $200 million, I might not need it. So I'm just saying, just think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, D. Will. Because if I had HO money in his microphone and his connections at the Big Easy, you couldn't get me.
Talk to him, coach.
Boy, y'all
just all wait. The beans, coach. All the beans, coach.
Yeah, y'all just wait. It's gonna be on and popping. Y'all gonna be like, okay, that the man is. Yeah, y'all just wait on that. But listen, the first career touchdown pass from Mr. Daniels, former LSU quarterback, was a masterpiece. He said he stood in the pocket. He knew he was going to get hit, but boy, did he drop it in the basket. Did he drop it in the basket? Wanted to get y'all thoughts on the throw that JD made on primetime TV as a rookie. Hey, so we're going to start with you. What did you think about it?
Ball only touched the ground 2 times that whole night. Let me say that again. The ball only touched the ground 2 times that whole night.
Yeah.
And to your point, some of those throws weren't, I'm throwing it in the flat. He's throwing 15, 20-yard in routes. That one to Scary Terry, like I said, with the man, you said, coming down Broadway Avenue, you know he's going to get a lick. And he put it where even if Scary wanted to drop it, he wasn't going to drop it. So, hey, they finally got, they might have their guy. I'm impressed with Daniels, but I'm probably more impressed with Kingsbury, the OC.
Okay.
And the play calling, especially coming from being a head coach and then getting ran out of Arizona, I'm been more impressed with him getting him and Daniels getting on the same page so quickly. So, but
good deal. All right, D-Will, it's on you.
Man, he showed to me that he's a star. And that's kind of, I guess, cliche to say in a way because he's coming off a Heisman Trophy, right? And so we've seen him be the star that he was projected to be as the number 2 pick in the draft. But what we saw on Monday night, he just showed he got big game ability, right? Like, he has big game ability. The moment is not too big for him. And the throws he made, the plays he made, the way he uses his feet, the way he does know how to get down. Now, he does take a few big hits, right? Like, he does take some big hits that he needs to clean up. However, if you just watch the way he played and orchestrated the offense and the way he had commanded the offense, and one thing that Troy Aikman kept speaking of during the night was the way he had command of the offense at the line of scrimmage. You didn't see that a lot. You don't see that a lot from a lot of young players. He really had commanded that offense from the beginning. And watching him orchestrate and make it happen was it was awesome to see. And like I said, he's a star in the making. Coming out of LSU, he was slight of build, right? He ran a lot. So people had doubts about how good he would be in the NFL. But he just showed on Monday night that I got an arm and I can stand in his pocket. I can stand and deliver with pressure in my face. I can get outside the pocket and make spectacular throws and plays. And also, I can make those butter throws, drop dimes in a bucket from way out. So he just showed he has the full package and that they may have something in Washington. Washington might be able to come back and be another a contender in the NFC East, something they hadn't been in a very, very, very long time.
Now, did his play Monday night make Chicago regret that they drafted Caleb Williams?
No, Caleb Williams is playing very good. They're just not very good. Okay, like let's keep it real. I spoke about your guy in Pittsburgh. What's my boy name? Justin Fields leaving Chicago. Chicago had the number 1 pick for a reason. They suck. They stink. So, but you see flashes of him being very, very good. If they're able to put the organization and the pieces around him, I don't have any doubt in my mind that they're going to be satisfied with the pick, just as Washington going to be satisfied with theirs.
Well, they better ask DJ Moore about Caleb Williams then.
I think Chicago's hype got a little bit out of hand, and I'll be here to tell you that I drunk a little bit of that juice as well. So for them not to come out the gate, as hot as predicted, has a little something to do with that. But they shouldn't be unhappy with drafting Caleb.
Coach, we heard your thoughts on the throw. What you got, Coach?
That's a throw like a quarterback that's been playing for 5-6 years. That was a grown man throw right there. And just like you just said, Chicago should not regret drafting Caleb Williams. They probably don't, because DeAndre Swift, who they brought in, is supposed to help the running game. Last game he ran 14 carries, 25 yards. What quarterback can work with that? Keenan Allen been out all year with a toe injury. That's supposed to be the man that's running. They showed a play on ESPN today on the segment don't get up about the pancakes. One play at the goal line when they did that pitch, the whole offensive line on the ground. What kind of quarterback can work with that? I mean, Caleb Williams is operating without a net right now. If he could ever get some help, and I ain't saying it's all their fault. Some of it is, but all of it ain't. He acting like he just so worth 3 games doesn't make a career. They act like his career is over with already. What? Check with me back about game 10, and we'll see what happens. I mean, that ain't taking nothing away from Jaden Daniels, because Jaden Daniels has always been good. You know, they always, like I said, try to knock on him because he's too slim, but the kid can play. And both of them are going to make a difference in the NFL. And they were talking about with Jaden Daniels, talking about, I heard his coach say, hope he doesn't chase the ghosts of quarterbacks in Washington. Patrick Ramsey, Jason Campbell, and those guys. There's only one quarterback he need to be trying to chase, Doug Williams. Simple as that.
Hey, Jason Campbell was good now. Hold on. You know, he wasn't bad. He was all right.
He was.
Jason Campbell wasn't bad. He was all right. Under the wrong ownership. Don't even start. At least our quarterback can stand up to a whole game. But anyway, we digress.
All right, fella, it's time to move on. That's going to end our hot news. Time to jump into some ballers, busters, and boy stop. Yes, sir. Baller, busters, and boy stop. Go ahead and put your ballers and busters and boy stop in the chat so we can go ahead and read them all out. All right, hold on. I got a comment. Jaden Daniels go chase Kirk Cousins' contract. Okay.
Get paid.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and start this ballers, busters, and boy stop off. My baller this week is Mr. Jaden Daniels and Shedeur Sanders. They right there neck and neck. Shedeur Sanders came through. They called it a Hail Mary. Asa seemed to think that it looked like it was a play, a one-man route, threw it to the spot. The man caught the ball, and they went to overtime and did their thing, and they got the victory. Jaden Daniels, picture perfect pass, threw the ball before the man even came out of his double move, threw it where only Scary Terry can catch it. And it dropped it right in the bucket and moves the Cincinnati Bengals to 0-3. Boy. Beat his LSU alumni guy, Mr. Joe Burrow. I know that there had to be mixed emotions for Mr. Daniels, but hey, it is what it is. But that's my baller for this week, Mr. Jaden Daniels and Shedeur Sanders. All right, I'm gonna start to the right. All right, Asa, what you got?
So I know everybody's gonna. You got the door and those and Daniels of the way. What James Madison did to North Carolina in the first half, forget the whole game. In the first half, I gotta tip my hat. So Alonzo Barnett III and I think it's Jacoby Criswell. So both those quarterbacks put up Tecmo Bowl numbers on North Carolina defense. And then thus in the same game, the busters is North Carolina's defense. How you allow 50 points in the first 50 points at halftime? I mean, hey. And then I guess I put Mac Brown as a buster too. He was ready to retire right then on the podium.
Right.
Those are my ballers and busters for the week. James Madison, ballers, and those kind of defense.
All right, D. Will, what you got?
I'm going with Shador as my baller, man. Like it's a lot of people who had really good weeks, but just watching that kid play, man, like I love his brashness, dog. Like I love that Deion Sanders in him. That I'm it, right? I'm him. I ain't afraid to tell you I'm him, and I go out there and make Himothy type plays. So I'm gonna give my ball to Shador. I could have went somewhere else, but at the end of the day, I think it should be consensus, man. That dude good.
Yeah, he is. I mean, I couldn't leave him out for sure.
Yeah, no
Man,
doubt.
man, if he got time, he gonna eat you alive. True, believe that. Give him some time, and he'll eat you alive. I think
Yep.
that's a bar.
That's the bar.
Yeah, it is. All right, coach, your baller.
My baller goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, which is only allowed an average of about 8 points a game. You can't run on them. You can throw them a little bit, but then they'll start beating your quarterback up. He won't want to throw, and they have moved themselves right now up to the number one defense in the NFL. And Justin Fields is appreciative because they haven't released him yet as far as throwing it and getting loose. But he's done what he's supposed to do. And the Steelers defense has said, don't worry about it, dog. We got you. Just let us get a little break every now and then and chill. And then
that Watt boy is doing this thing.
What's that, Ace?
That Watt boy is doing this thing.
Yeah. So I'm going to go to Steelers defense.
Coach, that wasn't no homer pick, was it, Coach?
All day. Every day. 3-0 going for 4 against the Colts. And Big Anthony Richardson. Anthony, all I got to say is this. I hope you ain't trying to run anywhere. Because TJ Water come get you. Hope you ain't trying to run. You better slide, young man.
Coach letting them know. And they better not ask Mike Tomlin who gonna be the starting quarterback no more, huh?
He gonna Nick Saban you.
Yeah. What say, D. Will?
Ask him one more time.
Yep. He gonna start talking about rat poison.
Yeah. All right, Buster of the week. I think Cuz the only one had a ball in there. Cuz said the ball is Travis Hunter for his vicious tackle at the goal line, I guess, or just because he's the something that we've never seen before. Well, we'll go with both of those. All right, Buster this week. It goes out to the UNLV football team. Even if you did not agree or approve it, you damage your 3-0, and you bet and the quarterback is the reason why. I don't care if you had to go borrow money from the casino or anything, but there's no way in hell that man should be redshirting talking about he leaving.
Yep.
Point blank period. It's too much money in Las Vegas. You could have went and got a loan from the casino. You could have did something to keep that man happy, right? And whatever.
It's only and I say this loosely, it was only $100,000.
Exactly.
That's all.
Like it's not like we talking big NIL money. Like that's chump change.
Reaching your bill for.
Right. Come on, man. Call Jerry Tarkanian. He got it.
Add $10 to the ticket.
Yeah. So that's my buster this week, man. The UNLV Running Rebels football team for not coughing up $100K, as D will say, just loose change to keep your player from quitting the team.
Yep.
Unbelievable. That is unbelievable. I can see if it was in Delaware or somewhere like that or Maine, but you're talking about Las Vegas. They print money in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Literally.
You can't come up with $100,000 in Las Vegas. I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, that's my busting. All right, Ace, so what you got?
Like I said, the North Carolina defense. I mean, how you give
Oh
up
yeah,
50
that's
points
right.
in the
You
first
already
half?
said it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. All right now. Anybody who like Baby Blue anyway, y'all can go ahead on. But anyway, D Will, what you got?
Hey, so cover your ears.
I already know where you're going. I'm good. But come on, bring it on. I already know.
Come on.
Hey, y'all got a double buster down there. Thorne and Brown. They suck. Both of them. Right? Like, they are incapable of playing the position at the high major P4 Division I level. Neither one of them. And Peyton Thorne is a freaking vet. He's been around for 400 years. There's no reason that he should be that bad at the position when you have an offensive mind like Hugh Freeze on the sideline. Now, granted, Hugh Freeze does deserve some of this blame. However, when your two quarterbacks are that bad, you just can't throw your hands up. It ain't nothing you can do when your quarterback goes out there and consistently throws the ball to the other team. That's nothing he can do. That's not a Hugh Freeze problem. That's a talent problem.
That's a culture problem. But one of those guys, Hugh Freeze, went out and recruited him.
Well, he got to get somebody. Let me say, like, you got to sign somebody. And a lot of those guys look good coming out of high school and coming. But Peyton Thorne, like I said, you and me both expected him to be better this year.
Yeah.
I can't put him being terrible on Hugh Freeze. Like, that's hard for me to do because, like I say, I'm just calling the plays. You got to see somebody that's standing in front of the receiver that you're throwing to. You got to see it. Right? And they have just been so bad, man. So those watching that game this past Saturday, even though I wanted them to lose just as bad as they did, it was hard for me to stomach and watch two guys be that incapable.
But they're not losing bad. That's the problem. Like, they gave up 4 turnovers, 5 turnovers in the California game. You lose 24-14. You lose 21-14 to Arkansas with 4 chips. So if you're giving the ball away that many times, you would expect to be getting 28-0.
Well, I agree with you if you're playing good teams. Arkansas is not a good football team. Neither is Cal. We saw that this weekend, that they're not a good football team. So I get they're playing close with bad football teams. When they run up against a good SEC football team and they go out there and play like that, they're going to lose by 50.
It's going to happen this weekend. They got Oklahoma. It's going to happen this weekend. It's going to happen this weekend. From a defensive standpoint, Oklahoma is a whole lot better than even for Oklahoma standards. You know what I mean? If you watch that Tennessee game, they held Tennessee kind of in check for the most part. There were some throws that but it was a defensive battle for the most part. It's going to happen this weekend at home.
All right, Coach Buster.
My buster goes to the entire Pittsburgh Pirates organization for Rowdy Tellez. This man, Pittsburgh is nowhere near the playoffs, nowhere near anything. Rowdy Tellez needed 4 more at-bats to get a $200,000 bonus. Speaking of money, and they cut him. Are you kidding me, Pittsburgh Pirates? You're not going anywhere. You got 6 games left. Let the man play, get the $200,000 bonus, and everybody's happy. If he cut, okay, he realized he cut. But he was four plate appearances shy of a $200,000 bonus, and you all cut him before that. That's why the Pittsburgh Pirates are not going anywhere. Haven't done anything since the We Are Family days with Stargell and Dave Parker, the Cobra, and all them. Ain't gonna continue to struggle. Paul Schemes, get out of Pittsburgh, son. You're not going anywhere. You're gonna be stuck. But that was kind of a low class move to me. I'm like, just like you said about the board, the NIL money, you can get $100,000. $200,000 is nothing to an organization where you paying players $3 and $4 million, maybe more every year. Come on, Pittsburgh. That was kind of pathetic.
was a real Pittsburghian answer, right? That was a real Pittsburgh love answer. Because you know that ain't business. We ain't going nowhere. So hell no, I'm not going to give you $200,000.
Yeah.
Especially if I can cut ties with you. For what? To let you get 4 more plate appearances to strike out and we still lose? No. I'm keeping my money. Like, no. Coach, I can't ride it. I'm not getting in the car with you on that. That's not a buster move. That is a smart move. And if you were in that situation, you would have done the same thing.
I'm not gonna fight. I can't fight.
That was a good one.
Oh Lord, D. Will, you done hurt my heart.
I didn't want to, Coach, but it just sounded real Pittsburghian of you to say that.
Yeah. All right.
I don't even know if that's a word.
Yeah, well, it is tonight. Cuz said the NFL refs is his buster for this week, and we're gonna get to that going down into our roundtable discussion. But first, we got to get to our boy stop. My boy stop didn't have anything to do with the refs; it had everything to do with the play call. You had 2 downs to get 1 yard.
No.
And the Atlanta Falcons gets my boy stop this week for not being able to pick up a 4th and 1 twice. Now, I did the numbers check. I'm a researcher. The Atlanta Falcons in the last 3 seasons are 4 and 13, getting 4th and 1. They've only got four times they have succeeded in 4th and 1 in 3 seasons out of 13 tries.
That's a bad percentage, Big H.O.
Yeah, that is. That's it. Listen, which tells me that nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. We still can't get to the quarterback. We still 31. And all of this is with the Kansas City referees refereeing the game. Still had the opportunity. And we couldn't do it. I'm just like, bruh. Do you take the points? Do you go for it? What are we doing here?
Well, to your point, you don't pitch the ball back 3 yards and hit 1 inch.
Yeah.
I've never understood that. And then to make it even worse, you didn't put in your more bruising back in there. You put Bijan, which is more of your finesse back. So football, as much as we want to say it can get complicated, at the end of the day, football is still very simple. Run the rock, stop the rock. And at some point you got to impose your will. So that you just mentioned just means right now Atlanta is a soft organization, football team. They're a soft football team because most of those fourth downs are going to be probably 5 yards away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because for the most part, depending on what the game is going on, anything more than 5 yards, you're going to punt it away. So if you 4 and 13 on 4th down, that means you 4 and 13 on running the ball for 2 yards.
Damn shame. All right, so
that's the sign of a soft team.
Yeah, give me your boy stop.
I love it. The boy stop is that joke in Dallas. I mean, I love what's going on. Heaven for what they call them, 11 from heaven or whatever his name is. You get ran down your throat by Baltimore all game long, and then you go turn around and try to call out the TV. When they go sit there and go to see the film and see that you didn't hold containment, you know what I mean? You didn't do none of your job as far as the position that you played in. So Micah, you know what I mean? So that's the boy stop, Stop going to your podcast or somebody's podcast after the game, especially after you lose, and put your foot in your mouth. And so that's my boy stop for the week.
All right, Weezy, what you got?
All right, man, I'm going to leave the world of sports for a second, so I want y'all to get in the car with me. And I know when I said I'm leaving the world of sports and going to the world of entertainment and hip-hop, I know where y'all think I'm going. But I ain't doing that. I'm not messing with Diddy tonight, because that ain't where I'm going, okay? Even though 1,000 bottles is a whole lot. Why stop? What is you doing? Right, yeah. So I'm not going there. So I'm gonna go a little bit more sentimental. And I did this for my guy Han, and he ain't here. So I'm still giving that shout out. And shout out to my man Slick Money. But boy, stop to the boy who killed Young Dolph for $800.
Oh Lord.
He killed Young Dolph for $800. Young Dolph was a boss. I was a big fan, huge fan. He did a lot of great things. Y'all saw the reason he was moving like that, because he moved in a way where he didn't have to worry about those type of situations, because that's the way he lived his life. But for this boy to kill Young Dolph for $800, supposedly gonna get 40, but they gave him 800, and then he went and sung, and now he's telling on everybody. Boy, stop.
Wow, and that's something.
R.I.P. to the flipper.
There it is. Yeah, that's sad. All right, Cole, what you got? I'm not sure if you can top that one, but
yeah, I thought
you done ran out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I thought D. Will was being slick with the baby oil comment.
Hey, pun intended.
I'll leave it alone. But I'm gonna go back to where Asa was driving and living at Dallas, Texas. To Jerry Jones, actually said a quote out of his own mouth every time he gets more and more unbelievable, and it's ridiculous. He said, and I quote, "We couldn't afford Derrick Henry." I'm like, what? I said, wait a minute. I had to do the rewind and make the noise. Rewind. And he said it again. We couldn't afford Derrick Henry. Okay. Derrick Henry lives in Texas. His family's in Texas. You paid Zeke $3-some million a year. Derrick Henry only going to get about $8 million a year. So you couldn't afford to pay him to come to Dallas and run for you and possibly give Dakota Prescott, a better chance at winning. And you said this out of your own mouth, Jerry. Jerry, boy, stop. That's all I can say. I can't go no further. Boy, stop.
There it is.
He couldn't have been serious when he said that. And look what he did Sunday.
Yeah.
Ran all over him.
Was that a revenge game, or was that like you should have signed me?
Everybody going back to watch that Green Bay playoff game. They are, the defense is no different than now. They're not big up front. They're a fast team. Like I said before, if you can run the ball, you can't stop the run. You should be in for a long Sunday every Sunday. You can't run it, you can't stop it. As much as they want to make the game 7-on-7, I get it. But at the end of the year, show me teams who can turn the ball over, and show me a team who's probably in the top 10 in rushing, and I'll show you a team going deep into the playoffs.
H.O., it wasn't a revenge game. It was a Commodores game. Easy like Sunday morning, the way he ran over them. Too easy.
There it is.
I mean, come on, man. They can't stop a cold. I mean, whew. So,
yeah. That was pretty good. Now, before we get into our, that's going to end our ball of buses and bus stop, by the way. Before we get into our roundtable discussion, can we get some love and shout out some love to my main man, Brian Flores, and the job that he's doing with that Minnesota defense, that they are 3-0 as well.
Yep.
With the quarterback that they didn't even plan on using. But Minnesota Vikings are 3-0. My Brian Flores is all of the darts and the stats that he has taken over the last couple of years. He's shown that he can withstand all of those throws and still.
Man, what he did too, I ain't giving him no love. No, no, we ain't finna sit here and sing him no swan song now. Like
Okay.
he did it, he doing a good job so far. Pat him on the back and keep it moving. We ain't finna give him no sympathy for what he went through. No, we ain't going that big H. Nope.
Angel, I got you. Angel, I got you. So ain't but two things changed in Minnesota. One defensive coordinator with the Dallas, and a new one stepped in. That team ain't really changed. I'm about three things changed. Defensive coordinator went down to Washington as the head coach. Brian Flores to Minnesota, and Zimmerman went to Dallas. And out of those, now I'm gonna say this: Washington's defense ain't much better, but they not a sieve like Dallas is right now.
True.
They not a sieve. You can score on them, but it's getting ridiculous what's going on in Dallas, and I'm enjoying it, but at the same time, I'm like, man, it's Tecmo Bowl. What's going on? New Orleans, then Baltimore. We'll see this week. I want to see Dallas lose the old-fashioned way, like have the game in hand and then give it away at the end. That's more. I ain't used to them getting blown out for all four quarters. This ain't what I'm used to.
I gotta say what's up to my main man Sean, bro. He's a Chicago fan, and hey, it is what it is. But I'm gonna say it to him. Jaden Daniels showed out. I'm not sure if. Well, I'll leave it alone. Don't even worry about it. But all right, let's get into our roundtable discussion. Let's keep it real. The Buffalo Bills. Is Josh Allen back into the MVP talk, or is this just fugazi as always?
Bro, Josh Allen is Joel Embiid. I don't care to see you be good anymore. You've been good in the past. That's fine. When are you going to? I'm so sick of the media glazing him like he's done something. He's the best quarterback behind Patrick Mahomes. Bro, that was 2019 when he had that epic game versus Patrick Mahomes to go to the playoffs. That was a long time ago, bro. Like, let's stop acting like Josh Allen deserves this credit or deserves some recognition, and he's done absolutely nothing. We kill Lamar Jackson each and every week that he steps on the field. He is doubted, talked down about, saying what he needs to do, what he got to do, and he got 2 damn MVPs. Josh Allen ain't got nothing, and if he throw a touchdown pass, he's the next coming of Patrick Mahomes. I'm so sick of damn Josh Allen. Until he wins, I'm not giving the white boy no credit. Period.
All righty then. Anybody want to go next?
I got it. I mean, I hear him. I hear you all day, D-Will. I agree with you, like 97% of that. But I think finally this year, toward the end of last year, this year, they'll finally. Again, I'm gonna make football seem real simple, because to me, in so many ways, it is as far as a concept. The quarterback's best friend is running the ball, and in Buffalo's case, don't run him, run the running back. And these end of last season, these first 3 games, they've made a concerted effort to run the ball. And so it's opened up everything else for him. And then when he does run, it puts the defense more in the bind. With all that being said, he got to win the big games, like you will say. At some point this year, if they're going to be 4-0 or 5-0, and it's going to be a Monday night game or a Sunday night game, and he's going to need to show up in that game. Or it's going to be a playoff game at home, and he's going to need to show up in that game.
He going to fumble. He going to fumble. He going to throw an interception.
And until he does it, I'm with you. At this point, I don't want to hear about it. You got to show me. and Buffalo
But-
hasn't done nothing
Well,
playoff wise.
they said he was going to be even
25
worse
plus
than
years.
Stephon Diggs there, but he's shown that, you know. Now, well, let's keep it real. Is Buffalo that good, or is Jacksonville just that bad?
Jacksonville's horrible.
Jacksonville is horrible.
Okay, all right. So there you go. So maybe he shouldn't get a lot of credit.
But
Then,
3-0 is still 3-0 in the league. You 3-0 in the league, you 3-0. You know what I mean? You got to beat who's in front of you. But Jacksonville, like I heard somebody call Trevor Lawrence today. They called him the blonde Daniel Jones. I ain't never heard such disrespect.
Yeah.
And that's exactly. I was like, oh my god.
Dang.
Wow.
I ain't mad at that though. I'm not mad at it.
So I don't know what's going on.
but I think they got the same stats. If you put them stats by stat, side by side, they got the same stats. So I think that's where they came from.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, you get compared to Daniel Jones at any point in a season or your career. That's
Yeah,
that
that is
no
good.
Good.
What about Jacksonville? Jacksonville winless, Cincinnati winless. Both of those guys just got paid.
Well,
Anybody have buyer remorse out of those two franchises?
Definitely not Cincinnati. I don't think. Matter of fact, I don't think either have buyer's remorse. I think they're good with both of them. I think they're very good players. Jacksonville's just a bad football team, right? Cincinnati had an offseason where Joe Burrow didn't do much. They had contract disputes with T. Higgins, and they had contract disputes with Jamar Chase. They just had a tumultuous offseason where they weren't prepared to start the beginning of the season. You're going to see them crank up at some point during this season and start to look like it. Now, will it be too little, too late? I doubt it, because it's so many damn games in the NFL nowadays, right? So they have a chance to get back and make up games. However, they're in a division where Pittsburgh is sitting there at 3-0. That's going to be hard to make up that ground.
Well, you look at Cincinnati. Joe Burrow, really, he's been kind of busy trying to play football, get a new contract, trying to defend the WWE title, Cody Rhodes. So, you know, hey, he's been busy. He trying to get his life right. He got to pick a sport and decide to stick with it, because he's struggling right now with all the activities he got going on. And then, you know, he's going to be all right once he loses the belt. Then he'll be able to concentrate on football.
I think that. So I don't think there's buyer remorse for quarterbacks on either side, and it is just the market is the market, right? You got to pay these guys at some point. Dallas tried to hold off and not paying Dak, and see what they wound up coming out of the pocket with. I will say in Jacksonville, though, I think they wound up picking the wrong the wrong head coach. I don't think Peterson is all. I mean, he won the Super Bowl, got on a hot streak, and won the last. You know what I mean? And that's carrying them. I think really they probably should have went the way of Brian Leftwich. So, you know, Jacksonville made the mistake in taking what was the coach at Ohio State?
Urban Meyer.
Meyer. They messed up with him, and then when they had a chance to go either way with Leftwich or Peterson, they went Peterson. I think they made two bad decisions with the head coach. People don't want to give Leftwich his due as an offensive coordinator, because you forget kind of what he was there when they had Jameis, and then he was there for the 2 or 3 years giving Tom Brady. You know what I mean? And so that was supposed to elevate him into a head coaching job, and it did not happen. So that's my look at Jacksonville.
Hey, can we give a shout out to our hometown hero Malik Willis for doing what he's been able to do, and to go back to Tennessee and wreck their week last week. Malik Willis, shout out to you,
He
bro.
won the game. His numbers weren't spectacular, He won the game. Like let's not act like he went out there and threw for 383 and 3 touchdowns. Like, yeah, 100-some yards passing. You know, he played well. He played well enough to win the game. He didn't lose it. So yeah, I agree.
And also he playing against the human McDonald's apple pie, Will Levis, who turns it over every game.
You talking about who probably should have been unanimous buster so far this season?
Yes,
it is. Well, I mean, woo.
He's seeing he's seeing ghosts out there.
Yeah,
ghost covered in mayonnaise.
I mean, some of his turnovers is like, they must don't have a backup in Tennessee.
Well, I'm saying he is Mitchell Trubisky 2.0. Right? Like we didn't expect. Will Levis didn't play much at Kentucky. He had one good year, came out, and we expected him to. He was a first round pick, knowing he shouldn't have been. And now look, they're reaping what they sow.
I agree. All right, the question I've been wanting to ask all night is this: is Kansas City Chiefs the New England Patriots of this era? And what I mean by that, let me walk you through this. Not this week, the last week against Cincinnati, coming down to the end of the game, Kansas City gets a pass interference called for them. This past week against Atlanta, Sunday Night Football, a pass interference did not get called for them. This past playoffs, on their way to the Super Bowl, from the playoff all the way through the Super Bowl, they was not called for a holding penalty, period, throughout the whole playoffs, including in the Super Bowl. I guess you see where I'm going with this. So, again, it's Kansas City Chiefs now the new era of what the Patriots were back then.
Note to Kirk Cousins. Kyle Pitts is 6'6", or is he 6'8"? Which one is he?
6'6".
Throw the ball up there where he can go get it, and then you get the pass interference. Throw it up there. Don't throw it at his stomach. Don't throw it at his lower rib cage. Throw it up there where he can go get it. If you throw it up there and he try to get in that man, does what he did.
It was supposed to be a what they call a back shoulder throw.
Well, he didn't throw it near the shoulder. You got to get his anatomy right. That ball wasn't near the shoulder. I'm like, it hit the boy, and then and Kansas City, who was down by his stomach, hit him in his lower back. I'm like, well, dog, Kirk, get it up there. Goalpost high or something.
He was getting raped before the ball got there, but that's
it was more the non-call was more egregious at the line of scrimmage. He got held and pushed off his route, where normally that's an automatic at bare minimum, hands, illegal use of hands or whatever. So I don't know. Sometimes we'll fuss about the ref blowing the whistle at the end of the game where they can swallow it. I know where you're going, HO, and I kind of agree with you a little bit. But the call the week before, that was passed. The man got there 2 footballs before the ball got there. I don't know.
They look like the same play from last week to this week, and they threw the flag last week. They didn't throw the flag this week.
But didn't the Falcons got the ball back, and didn't they get 2 calls that helped them move their drive on? So that wasn't the end of the game. The Falcons got 2 calls.
Right. This ain't about the Falcons. This is about let me just put it simple.
I know what you're saying.
Is NFL creating cheating opportunities for Kansas City?
No, they're gonna move. They're gonna make sure that the team, which now is Kansas City, which moves the needle with viewership, has a better chance to win. That's how they're going to get. That's how
Why
they're
do
going
you
to
need
get
to cheat against Atlanta, though? I mean, really.
I can't allow you to use the word cheat. because I don't think they're cheating. I'm gonna tell you what I think it is. When you're good, you get privilege. It's like the best players in the NBA. They're gonna get the calls. That's a known thing. If you borderline foul LeBron, it's gonna get called a foul, right? It's one of those things where Kansas City Chiefs are expected to win. So when bang bang plays happen, psychologically you go on the era of the good team, who's supposed to win. Now, do I think it's getting a call from New York saying, "Hey, if something happened, make sure Kansas City"? I don't think that's happening, and that's what would have to happen in that type of situation. I just think they get the benefit of the doubt because they are the Chiefs.
Well, let me rebuttal to that. It used to be a time where you can challenge pass interference. They took the rule out in favor of the Chiefs. And why do we now have a change of overtime rules?
Buffalo
and the Chiefs.
No, but Buffalo cried about that 23 seconds.
Yeah, because you didn't get a chance to get. Well,
but that was the regular rule. How you gonna blame Kansas City for the regular rule? They have been doing the regular overtime
Kansas City was
Buffalo cried. Buffalo cried because we were tied of maybe Kansas City winning, and everybody was like, "Yeah, so change the rule."
If it was Buffalo and Jacksonville, the rules would have never been changed.
If it was Buffalo and Jacksonville, Buffalo wouldn't have been crying about it. They were crying about it because it was their third time losing to Kansas City in a row.
Yep.
But H.O., you said they used to be able to challenge pass interference.
Yeah.
Do you know who took that rule out?
New Orleans?
No. Y'all gonna be shocked when you hear this one.
No, I know.
Who?
Rich McKay.
Ding, 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 ding.
But I mean, that.
He's a part of the committee. He's just a part of the committee. I'm not necessarily.
But when I say New Orleans, they got jobs in that Rams game. You know, my man got hit 9 minutes before the ball got there. It was no call. I just.
But H.O., Cuz said it earlier. He gave the refs his buster of the week. Like, it's always gonna be referees making mistakes. My thing is, you gotta make the play. Like Travis, listen, Shador cussed Travis out and said, "Just catch the ball." The very next play, dude grabbed around the neck, he went backwards, and guess what he did? He caught the ball. Somehow or another, yes, that I understand that play really lost Atlanta the game. But you had another opportunity. Make the play. Make the play.
I gave the play calling my buster of the week for sure. I gave you the stats. 4 times out of 14, you get 4th and 1 out of 3-year span.
Hey, so here's where I'd be more upset with Kansas City from a fan standpoint. I'm mad with the Raiders, I'm mad with the Chargers, and I'm mad with the Broncos because all 3 of them suck. So whenever you have a dynasty, usually your division is horrible. The way New England was able to win for 25 years because Buffalo, the Jets, and the Dolphins couldn't get to 5 wins.
Right.
When the 49ers in the late 80s, in the 80s were dominating the NFC West. Because Atlanta, Tampa Bay, and the Rams suck. You know what I mean? So I blame those other 3 teams in that division for not being good. So at the end of the day, Kansas City has 8 games that they can probably go 7-1.
Right.
And now I only got.
And I'm glad Justin Herbert finally sucks. I'm glad y'all see it. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, he's pretty bad. And he's hurt now. So Taylor Heineke, come on down.
Yeah.
All right, Jim Harbaugh, what you got, my boy?
Yeah, he came in Heineke.
And that rock off to TK Dobbins 55.
That's all he can do.
That's it.
Because TJ Watt licked his lips and said, "Oh yeah, we got somebody now. He can't move at all for sure."
All right, the
Who
new
said, how we bring this back to Pittsburgh?
I didn't do that.
all right, they got the new NBA franchise coming up, and rumor has it that if they go back to Seattle, that OKC was transfer all of their franchise records back to Seattle.
Correct. That'd be fair.
And
What you talking about? They don't transfer that being up 3-1 in the Western Conference Finals and losing to the Golden State Warriors. That's what they transferred. Like you acting like they transferred some NBA championship history or something. Like, come on, that one NBA Finals appearance. That's what they transferred. Like, man, something else, man. Come on.
Hey, wait a minute, D. Will. You remember in a barbershop when the guy said, "Leave Kales alone"?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say that to you. God dog it, leave the Oklahoma City alone. Leave Westbrook and Durant alone, God dog it.
I love Brody. Westbrook, one of my favorite players of all time. But we talking about transferring records like it's something to transfer. Like, come on, man, stop it. Like, let's transfer that up 3-1 and Kevin Durant leaving the next year. Let's do that.
I'm just here to report the news.
He got NIL money.
Don't shoot the message.
So it looks like Seattle and Las Vegas are gonna be the two top teams for the NBA franchise. So
that'll be
on
good. And then
Makes
you can
sense.
move. You can move what Memphis and New Orleans to the east.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very, very possible. All right, D. Will, I got a new segment called 3-Point Shot. How about that? Glad you was able to hang around and get a little some of this 3-point shot. Let me pull up my notes here. 3-point shot is somewhat like the fun bag, but these are sports questions. Very thought-provoking and things of that nature, so bear with me. And one of these questions I know you're going to love. All right, y'all, everybody in the chat, y'all tune in and chat with us. Question number 1. And Ace, I'm going to start with you, and then we'll go down and go on around. Out of the former athletes or entertainers, name and rank your 3 top podcasts that you would listen to.
Ooh. Oh boy, this is gonna be. I can see this one being tough.
Former or current, right? I mean,
former, current, or celebrity entertainer podcast. It can be a social media. It can be bubble
I tune in to Bomani Jones. I don't know if he's. I'm just gonna give you who I listen to.
Just give me your top 3 that you would listen to.
Oh, so
I don't have a list.
So I listen to Bomani Jones.
Okay.
I actually like Ryan Clark and what those guys do.
The Pivot.
And then man, that's about it. I listen to other people, but those
so
are the 2.
You don't have 3. You gave me 2, bro. Okay.
I ain't gave me 2. I ain't gonna lie.
Hold on. You mean Tab, you don't listen to your Auburn alum?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm shocked.
You got Jason. But no, I don't on a.
Oh hell no, we can't talk to Jason on this show.
You see,
we can't do it. All right, D. Will, what you got?
Ooh, boy. Weird as this may sound, I don't listen to a lot of podcasts. Right?
That you would, not that you do, that you would.
Okay. I would go, and they gotta be sports or just period.
No, entertainment. It can be entertainment.
I like I tap into Gil's Arenas.
Okay.
I tap into that a little bit. I really don't watch it too tough because they be a little too emotional and they had too many BS takes on that for me. I tap into a little bit of $1 million worth of game because I think Wallow funny. Right. And then thirdly, man, it's just to be God honest with you, and I don't want y'all to think I listen to the Eyeball Podcast, bro. Like, I go back and watch them shows because when people hit me up, I go listen because I done forgot what I done said. They done came at me about something I don't damn remember because y'all know I just be going off. So I listen to a lot, and it's more so of critiquing. How can I get better? How can I do it better? So I spend a lot of time listening to myself, just to be honest.
That's fine. I can respect that.
Nah, I'm with you, D. Well, I mean, I listen, but I try not to regurgitate some other people's takes. You know what I mean? So
right, and that's what I'm coming from. Like, I like to get the information and get my own thought process about it. Because if I sit here and watch the 4-letter network all day, I'm gonna be screaming at the TV so much I'm gonna start regurgitating what they're saying, and now my topics when I get to talking are what they talked about, and that's completely not what I want to do.
There you go. All right, Coach, what you got?
I'm gonna go with the pivot because I think I like Ryan Clark, and those guys are always funny. They always got some stuff going on. Bomani Jones, who I wish was back on TV, he does the right time. I used to listen to the right time on the radio all the time. Ryan, wish he'd come on back on TV because apparently he was too smart for TV, so they made him do podcasts. And the last one, it's gonna shock you, but it's not gonna shock you. Brian Windhorse and the Hoop Collectors. I'll get my NBA stuff from them. Listen to them talk hoops all the time. Any NBA news. Now that old Woj is gone, I'm gonna have to listen to him more because Woj used to be the man to break the NBA open. Now they gone. He's gone. So God bless him. But those three.
Hey, I forgot one. I like the 5150 podcast with
Corey Holcomb. Corey Holcomb.
No, not 5150. Your boy, Jeff Teague podcast.
Oh yeah.
I like them guys funny. Like I like the way they tell, and I kind of like KG them too. KG and Paul Pierce. That's kind of, I don't watch it much, but I think that's pretty entertaining.
I'm gonna give y'all something real quick. Just make a note, take and maybe download to your phone. There's an app called Pocket Cast, which allows you to kind of go through a whole lot of different. It has everything kind of put in one platform to find what you're looking for.
What's it called?
Actually, Pocket Cast, POCKET, Cast, CASTS. And I'm about to say, you're on the SRC. You don't, like I say, they kind of go out and grab all podcasts and then dump it into this one. You know what I mean? And then you can sift through whatever. So
if they ain't got the Eyeball Podcast on there, I got to give them a call, Bubba.
Yeah.
I need to go and I see and check. I have it checked, but I check. You know, I look for hours and we're on there. I check to see what.
Yeah, shoot me a text and let me see it so we can get the SRT on there as well.
Tell them, Big A, so we got to get on, baby.
Yeah. I'm trying to get on to the Black Podcasting Network too. All right, I'm going with no particular order. SRT, Cam Newton 4th and 1, or Funky Friday, and Club Shay Shay.
I can stand here.
Ain't none of us said Club Shay Shay. I think because I mean you said that. I think
I'm only listening to him for the guest.
Sometimes you get so hot, you burn out faster than you need to burn out. And that's what I feel like might be happening a little bit with Shannon Sharp. He burns so bright so quick, it's starting to fizz out. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Well, and we learned his stick. Like, he's not doing anything, right? Like, he's getting fed questions to go on there and read to somebody and let them just take off. Like that Cat Williams interview, he ain't say nothing the whole time, right? And that nightcap with him and Ocho, that is horrible. Like that is bad. That is not entertaining. It's bad. I'm not hating on Ocho. I'm more so hating on Shane. Just to keep it one.
I got you. All right, my next question, y'all gonna love this. I'm gonna give you 5 teams. I need you to pick 2. 5 teams, pick 2. Because I was going to go 3 teams and pick 1, but too many good teams. College football. Yeah, 2019 LSU, 04 USC, 01 Canes, 92 Bama, 06 Gators.
Ooh. So we gotta pick one?
No, pick 2.
Okay, pick 2? Okay.
I give you 5 teams, pick 2 out of the 5.
That 96 Florida is full of NFL, like
I'm going to go through them again. The 06 Gators, 92 Bama, 01 Canes, the 04 USC, and the 2019 LSU.
Mm-hmm.
I like the choices.
yeah,
Right?
Yeah, you can't go wrong with none of those.
Like, you can't go wrong with none of those, right? Of course, y'all know 92 Bama is in mine. But even though I'll take 09 Bama over 92 Bama. That's just me. That Julio Jones, Mark Ingram, man, that was crazy. So I'll say that. I'll take 92 Bama, and I just have an affinity for Reggie Bush in college. That was a sight to see. Like, to watch Reggie Bush do what he did when he was at USC was it was like he was must see TV, right? And especially I was in college at the time.
You really watch the East Coast stayed up late to watch.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Because you knew Reggie Bush was about to do something spectacular. So I'm gonna go 92 Bama and 04 USC.
We staying up late to watch them against Fresno State. We wasn't staying up for Fresno State. We was the only
Right. Right.
All right, Coach, who you got? Give me 2.
I'm with Zavada McLaren. Is that pronounced it right? Zavada?
Yeah.
I'm with him. The 01 Canes and the 04 USC game. Man, that game would have sold out everywhere. They'd have to play it in somewhere that had like 100,000 people to see, because you couldn't put it in no normal small arena, and then it had to be on on ABC that everybody got, a ESPN. I'm going with those 2.
All right, Asa, what you got? Give me 2.
That 06 Gators is somewhat of the epiphany of what the SEC was for all those years. Like the build up, almost like the Marvel movie for 10 years. The SEC build up when they got to that 06 Gators, and then you started looking back at all the other teams, you were like, oh my God. So 06 Gators, because of what it represented for the SEC, and then I gotta go. That USC team is another one for the ages. When you start looking back at the players and some of the games that they were involved in, together. So the USC and the Gators, the 06.
Hey, I hear the music playing, so I gotta say this before we go. Bama by 10 this weekend.
Next weekend.
No, we play this weekend.
This weekend.
We play Saturday, 6:30, ESPN.
You gotta you factor in some turnovers for the defense.
Yeah, that's right.
It is.
Yeah, the 28. You're right. My last question for the night. Bases loaded. I had to do a baseball question because baseball is in it. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 2 strikes. Game is tied. Who would you rather have at the plate? Frank Thomas, Tony Gwynn, or Barry Bonds? You need one hit.
Easy. Oh, that's easy.
Tony Gwynn.
Be that
easy. All day.
No.
Gwynn could make contact with a toothpick.
No, I'm not. The question is not who's the best hitter. The question is 2 outs. You said 2 on?
2 outs, bases loaded.
Oh, I'm still going with Bonds. Because Gwen make contact and it can be a ground ball and you get broke. You know, Bonds is putting that thing into the water.
Hell, I don't know. I ain't watched none
Gwen gonna get a hit now.
Okay, Gwen, Bonds, I'm going Frank Thomas.
There you go. You making Asa happy now.
So-
How you gonna go against the Auburn guy?
Oh yeah, he is the Auburn guy.
Yeah. I mean, the big hurt is still a guy, right? But
Look, now D. Will want to change his mind. He said, "Oh yeah, he is the Auburn
Yeah,
guy."
I forgot you with Auburn.
we got it on tape, baby. We got you on tape.
Yeah,
I'm going Buns.
You going Buns? Coach, you going
I'm going
Gwen?
Buns.
Yeah, I go. What Big Earth got? Cialis? What did he putting out there? I'm going with Cialis, New Jennings, whatever he got.
All right, man, that's going to end our show. I got to shout out to Coach, Asa, D. Will, and everybody who tuned in and listened. Appreciate y'all tuning in and listening to episode 390 episodes today. And yeah, I got an email this week. I got to share with you guys, and I want to appreciate you. Appreciate you guys for making this happen. Last week, we had 413 downloads just from last week alone. So so appreciate you guys for helping SRT become what it has become. So that's all I got. All right, Asa, we can start with you. Give me your shout out.
Hey man, shout out to you all, to you HOD Will, Coach, appreciate it. Always have a good time when I come on. Appreciate you having me on. To check me out and my partners on Monday. Go to any one of the social media, Facebook, X, Instagram, Snapchat, and we do our podcast Monday 7 to 9. So just check us out. Facebook, hit us up, see the link. So always have a good time when I get invited to SRT. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. All right, D. Will, what you got?
All right, man, y'all already know, man. Shout out to you guys, man. Like I said, it is fun coming over here. I love it. But make sure y'all tap in. Y'all already know. Eyeball Podcast, Little IBAL Podcast. We live every Tuesday and Thursday night. Everywhere, man. Go to the Eyeball Radio YouTube page, man. Like I say, Little IBAL Radio. Check us out. Hey, the Eyeball Podcast every Monday at noon. Tuesday and Thursday, we live. Wherever you want to get us, man. Just go check us out.
Coach.
Yeah, big shout out to everybody on the show. It's always fun coming in and chopping it up with you guys. Shout out to my boys from the Red Rev Show. We'll be on Saturday, 11 to whenever we get tired of talking about sports. Big shout out to Hancock. I don't know how to put this, Hancock, but I miss you, dog. I miss you being here.
There it is.
I hit my
Hey,
heart
you know
right
my head ain't come on that week. But boy, I gave him a whooping in fantasy so bad last weekend. He didn't want to show his face.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
A whooping.
Yeah. He didn't want to talk about the quarterback he could have had at Florida State.
That even.
Boy.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Instead
goodness.
of that quarterback he did get, I'm like, bro, what are y'all doing? But anyway, man, that's going to end the show, man. We sure appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. The show will be up on Amazon Music and everywhere you get your podcast here pretty soon. Give me about a day and a half. G-Money will have it up, and we'll be going and we'll be doing our thing. With that being said, it's your main man, H.O. from Bankhead. R.I.P. Moms and Pops. R.I.P. BC. And from my main man, Hancock, Asa, Coach, and D. Will, this is Sports Roundtable. We'll holler at y'all next week. We out. Peace.